Hello everyone, welcome to this session. Let's talk about the reflex action. So far in our previous video, we are discussing about the spinal cord and the peripheral nervous system. So today, let's see the reflex action. So we'll start with the concept of this reflex action. Now, we have to note that when a receptor is stimulated, that is the receptor is the one that receives the message uh, from the various sensory organs. So it sends a signal to the central nervous system, whereby the brain coordinates the response. Now, but sometimes a very quick response is needed, one that doesn't need the involvement of the brain, since the one that involves the brain, it uses a little bit of time. So this is what we call a reflex action. A reflex action is that kind of the action or is the rapid involuntary response to a certain stimulus. Now, this can occur due to some stimulus that have been stimulated that require a very quick response. So the route that is followed by the impulses during a reflex action is what we call a reflex arc. So reflex arc is the route or a channel that is followed by the impulses during a reflex action. And reflex action is just simply a rapid or involuntary response to a certain stimulus. Now, the reflex actions are rapid and they happen without us thinking. So those are actions that occur without us thinking are what we call the reflex actions. Take an example. You would pull your hand away from the hot flame without thinking about it. So thinking about it is just isn't there when you are trying to lift up your hand from the hot object. So that's one of the reflex action. Now, the following is just a diagram that shows a simplified reflex arc. As you can see here, uh, this is the spinal cord, and here we have the receptor, that is the sensors. So here is where the stimuli is generated. Now, after this receptor has observed or has obtained this kind of a stimuli, it sends that kind of a impulse to the spinal cord. Now, here is where it coordinated or it's just translated and what to be done or what should be done within a very simple time or just in a very short time. Then after that, it returns the response quickly to the reflectors as through the motor neuron. So the sensor neuron is the one that carries the impulses are from the receptors to the spinal cord, and after that, the one that corresponds after bringing the various impulses is then translated back to by the motor neuron to the reflectors on what to be done quickly. So I hope that's clear. So this is just a simple illustration of all this. The reflex uh, action, how it happens of a hand being withdrawn from a flame. And here is our flame. So these are all the other parts that are labeled within this spinal cord, and here is the receptor and there's the effector. I hope that's all clear. So this is a very simplified reflex arc. Now, this is what happens in this kind of the receptor is the one that it detects a stimulus that is change in the environment, a stimulus. Then the second thing that happens that the sensory neuron sends the signal to the relay neuron. So the relay neurons is the one that uh, relays or delivers the message or the impulses to the uh, to the controller, that is the spinal cord. Then the motor neuron is the one that sends signal to the effector after receiving the kind of message or that has to be observed or has to be taken into action. The effector is the one that produces a response. Now, the above process, it appears to be a long one, but in reality, simply the process takes place a very short time. It happens within seconds. So very few seconds are the ones that are used in doing this kind of the action. The way the iris are, for example, in our eye adjusts the size of the pupil in response to the bright or dim light is also a reflex action. So this is the other example of this reflex action. It happens without our thinking or beyond our control. So that's all I have for this session. I hope that's clear. We've briefly discussed about the reflex action. We've seen the meaning of this reflex action, and then we've later on discussed how it happens or the process, how it happens. I hope that's all clear, and thank you.